DG plays soon. Yes. Speaking of people that play games, Detox. Let me tell you something about Detox. I like Detox. I like his style. He's a Star Citizen content creator, but he's very, very smart about this. He's starting another channel with a game called Silica, and it's called Detox's Lab. Now, I'm going to share this. Even though I feel like Detox does not like me, I still like him. That's the vibe I get from Detox. He's like, fuck you, DG. Like you're an asshole. Like, I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that would make me cry, Detox. But anyway, he started a new channel for Silica. I don't know. That's the vibe I get from him. Red Bear. I don't know. I'm not even on his radar, God damn it. Completely fanboying for Detox right now. And please notice me, senpai. But his content's real good and on point. I like his Star Citizen content. So when I saw this channel here, I was like, wow, he's gonna focus on a game called Silica. Now, Silica is very interesting. It's an RTS FPS game. And I wanted to show you a little bit from Detox's new channel. And he's basically going to break it down, the good, bad, and ugly about Silica, because we were kind of on the fence about this title. We had Mod81 who said it's too slow, and then who else came in here and said something really positive about Silica? So it's like a 50-50 split in our community, and I just want to see more from it because I'm not too sure about this title. I think it's only $20, but it looked very fun to me.
Here we go! We're here, so this is the fight for their base right now. They've got to go.
Very pretty, Chris. Very pretty.
Tanks. Oh my goodness, so cool.
Silica Early Access is here and much sooner than anticipated. The RTS FPS hybrid genre is anything but saturated, and that's likely because it is so difficult to satisfy the desires of both strategy and FPS players in one game. Martin Malitrek, the project lead and sole developer currently, has given Silica a very promising start for both ends of the spectrum, but there is definitely a lot of work to be done yet. In spite of this, Silica is incredibly fun and captivating. I haven't had this sort of experience with a video game in a long time. You know those...
Yeah, like what I want to see is the RTS side of things too, because I'm not sure how the RTS fits into this. Is there like one gamer who's like the commander who like moves units around? Is that how it goes? I'm not quite sure the RTS side of things, like what the controls or functions are.
Games where you're not sure why, you just want to get home and play some more. That's a good feeling that doesn't come around very often. And that's how I feel about Silica. I've played a few full matches as commander and soldier, as well as tested out all the units and maps so far. I've got to say, the game has an incredible foundation for something special with a huge amount of potential for longevity and an ever-evolving meta that could carry this game for years to come. However, Silica has certainly shipped with quite a few fundamental problems that need to be addressed throughout its early access so that this game can thrive. And while some of these problems relate to the fundamentals of the game, for example map balance, AI and player agency, the great news is these problems are all quite fixable. So let's start with the good. Silica is a very good looking game, especially when you consider just how much is going on at once. Between the deserty haze, the alien storms, and the nighttime battle tracer fire, the game can really offer an awesome experience. It really feels like you're fighting arachnids on the dunes of Arrakis. Combined with the game's excellent sounds, the immersion factor is high. For an RTS FPS on this scale, there is some lovely detail from top to bottom, like the Harvester's Balterium tanks slowly filling up or emptying when collecting and unloading, or the fact that every...
All right, the graphics aren't like the best, but man, that gave good vibes back there, man. Like the storm and shit and the nighttime,
from top to bottom,
like the lightning,
like the Harvester's Balterium tank.
That's a cool vibe right there, dude.
Slowly filling up or emptying when collecting and unloading, or the fact that every building can be entered on foot.
Guess like it's been doing.
Yeah, well, this AI is actually going inside the building.
Oh shit!
It's not going to do what I wanted it to do, but it actually went in the build. Oh, it did! It killed Stewie!
What?
Stewie! You got wrecked by an AI commando, my dude!
Dude, the AI goes inside the buildings. That's sick. I love that. That's awesome.
Yes! You're not gonna hate me! Yes!
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, the graphics are downgrade. Like the graphics aren't amazing, but I think it's like the gameplay itself and what you can do with it. And there's like bright spots in the graphics too. It's not like all like Xbox early 2000s. Like there are some like meshes that I'm seeing in here, and some textures are a little bit more, up to date. And the laser effects from the rifles were cool, so there's like bright spots in the graphics in certain points. But you're right, graphics aren't really everything with the game. Like I've played plenty of games that have like older graphic styles like this and had plenty of good times with them.
The scale of units feels perfect. Goliaths are truly monstrous, and the sight of 100 crabs charging you or a hunter chasing you through a base can quickly cause panic.
Damn.
There is a day-night cycle, which quickly changes the feel and your ability to fight the enemy in every match. A great touch for an RTS FPS hybrid.
The AI seems
the
a little bit
environments
better
feel
than
vast
most.
and hostile, with maps like the Badlands hitting you with some wicked sights. The fun factor is ultimately there with Silica, and my community and I have had some great fun already. The battles feel epic, and you find yourself imagining just how good and intense this game could become further down the line, when players are more attuned to the game and matches start going down to the wire. The music of Silica is truly awesome, courtesy of Scott Buckley. Music this good has the power to really elevate a game's experience,
yes, it
and in
does.
Silica's case, this music will change nicely
soundtrack is so
in relation
underrated.
to what's happening on screen,
Soundtrack
which really aids,
so underrated.
once again, to that immersion factor.
Listen, audio is so important to a game in all respects. Like the effects, the soundtrack, like it's so important.
After playing quite a few games with my community, it is clear the speed of matches could use some work, but I do feel the overall pacing is done well with respect to the different phases of a match. There seems to be a valid early, mid, and late game, for example, where early on you're relying on faster, lower tech units to get things done, with the option to progress to bigger and better units, while your strategy changes along with them. This doesn't mean your low-tech units lose utility though, as dealing with the light units often requires a similar response, and harassment with vehicles like the light quad is viable throughout the game. Overall, and importantly, the experience of Silica feels...
Yeah, when I'm on the ground, Explodo, you're right, dude. Like, if I'm experiencing games in like a solo format, I like listen to the music, like I'm down with like the soundtrack, but you're right. If I'm like in that FPS combat mode, I want to hear like everything around me, I turn that music off. You're right, Explodo. Sound effects, though, super important.
Good. It'll be up to Martin and his team to really clean up this diamond in the rough throughout early access to realize its full potential.
The explosions
So let's talk
are
about
great.
the bad. There is a massive amount of fundamental RTS quality of life missing in Silica.
Okay.
There are no unit audio cues on unit or structure selection, and when
No, you need that. You need that. You need that. You gotta have that. Dude, when you click on units, all you want to hear is zog zog.
giving commands, there are currently no commander warnings when your units or structures are under attack, and nothing flashing on the minimap to catch your attention when it's needed. And, well, the minimap is simply too small to really see what you need at a glance. Additionally, while you can create unit control groups, double selecting that control group does not take you to their position, and using the minimap while a unit is selected basically deselects it. You got to realize, guys,
It's
that
a bit-
I can't.
it's a bit loud.
When
Let
I
me turn
give
it down,
units
you're right.
hotkeys, I can't double click the hotkey to get back to that unit, so I'm having to manually move around the map, which is a little bit archaic. So sending your units around the map quickly and accurately is cumbersome. The maps look great, but they are not conducive of balanced gameplay. Starting areas need to provide the same amount of resources and the same opportunities for expansion, for example. Symmetrical maps are a must in my opinion, and if we're going to go with asymmetrical maps, at least make starting positions balanced and symmetrical, providing factions with equal...
Also, map creator the shit like out of this. Like they need a map creator so that like commanders can create their own maps and like you can play on other people's maps. That's one thing that's missing out of most RTSs this in these days, man. You could make your own maps and play on other people's maps, and your map would get famous. I remember back in the day with Warcraft, man. I made this map. It was the gold industry standard, man. It was the Frost map, man. I don't know for you guys that are the OGs back in the 90s that played the original Warcraft, but it was the Frost map with the gold mines in the middle and the circle of trees around it. Huh? With the 8 different positions? I know there's somebody out there that remembers that map. That was me. Everybody played on that map. Everybody played on that map. Thank you, Rex remembers. That was me, dude. Forlorn Ronin. That was the name. Forlorn Ronin.
Opportunities to succeed and customize their strategy from the beginning. We can go double refinery, but only one Balterium field here. Let me find another one. Another good example of bad map design are certain maps where your starting base is immediately vulnerable to cliff-based attacks, which are horribly difficult and almost impossible to deal with as humans, but much easier to deal with as aliens. It's impossible to get units into hard-to-reach cliffs, where alien units can hit your base and units with impunity. This just isn't fun or fair to deal with, in my opinion. Maps should provide equal opportunity for both sides to play to their strengths. But an I win
because it's a level. It needs to be a level playing field. You can't be on a map that's like slightly tilted or skewed towards one team or another. And he's absolutely right, because like a bad map ruins the game. It can completely ruin the game. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone as well. I'm getting bombed right now from the girlfriend.
If I get here, strategy should not be possible. While on the subject of maps, starting areas, at least for the humans, need to be flatter, so we can place structures the way we want without being at the mercy of the environmental design. For example, sand dunes blocking large areas inside your base for placing structures. This is frustrating and leads to extended periods of time where you are trying to place structures in a logical manner, but ultimately are incapable due to the map's design. AI and pathfinding. Here's one thing that isn't surprising, but the AI and pathfinding needs work, and nowhere is this more obvious than with the Harvester. The Harvester is gloriously big, it's clunky, and it's industrial looking.
Are those crystals?
Its basic pathfinding is bad, resulting in economic victory by default for the aliens right now.
Can we get an amen for mining crystals? Little Tiberian sun there. For real, Rex, for real. You guys, I'm going to be sleeping on the couch the entire weekend. I love you, Christy. I love you.
The Harvester will catch on fields of Balterium, fail to turn in the right direction to free itself
I'm going to get a strike for this one,
and often get into traffic jams with other Harvesters and units. Another thing I don't like at the moment with the Commander is you don't get any interaction prompts. For example, if I move my mouse over this Balterium, it's not like highlighting it as if I can collect it like I should be harvesting it. And again, like, the Harvester is dumb.
The Harvester is not even usable. It looks like this thing doesn't know what it's doing. I'm going to give it a solid boo. Boo! Boo! Devs, work on your Harvester. This is the worst harvesting I've ever seen in my life.
Another glaringly obvious pain.
I know it's an alpha. I just wanted to boo something. Fingers. Would you let me boo? Boo fingers for me, Pepe. No, don't boo fingers. Don't you dare ever boo fingers.
Point is AI-friendly fire. The rocket launcher is a particularly volatile-friendly unit, single-handedly destroying friendly structures and units if you are not careful. If an alien crab gets atop one of your harvesters, vehicles, or structures, friendly units will make quick work of both until nothing is left. This obviously needs to stop, so I think they should make it so friendly units should only use accurate weapons fire like machine guns and the hover tank's coax to get rid of alien joyriders unless specifically ordered to use their main weapon. As you can probably tell, most of my issues revolve around the RTS mode for now. But when you're running around on foot, base signposting is a real pain in the arse. Yes, you can aim at structures and look at the information in the bottom right of the screen, but buildings should be immediately obvious without relying on your pointer. Some form of base signposting, either via structure visuals or something highlighting individual structures on the map, will go a long way to improving the on-foot experience for your players. Another major point for FPS players is the lack of ability for them to contribute to your faction at all times. There should always be something for a player to do once they spawn, whether that's contributing to building early structures, collecting Balterium, or aiding in expanding your base. In early game, your players often need to wait for additional buggies to be created to feel useful. The map and areas are also so vast, it's hard to move anywhere quickly.
Did we already figure out what engine
Now, it
this
is early days, strategies and metas haven't been developed yet, so this could change, but I'm just throwing ideas out there. Perhaps players should have access to some player-only utility roles. An example would be a player engineer
Explodo, you
or
know what engine
scout
they're using?
that could build special nodes for the aliens or outposts for the humans, which
that
give
an engine?
you
Duck
further
engine?
reach than the ones the commander can build, allowing you to expand quicker in the early game. They could jump in one of the starting buggies and race off to the direction you wanted to expand in. I don't know, just an idea.
Totally right. Explodo says, I will be interested to see how this game progresses because I have yet to play a good FPS RTS hybrid. That's such a good comment, man. You're right. They always end up coming up a little bit short, you know? Yeah, you're right, dude.
It's a small one, but being able to easily identify
it looks
player
like Unreal
units
physics.
versus AI units would also be helpful when you're on foot. Just a name tag when highlighting a unit would go a long way here, and it's something I imagine is already in the works, or something that Martin just didn't get a chance to put in before early access. As I said before, Silica is a very fun, immersive, and beautiful looking sci-fi game that is attempting to tackle a notoriously difficult genre. I believe it has what it takes to succeed here, and most of the problems I've described.
Listen, this is why he made a channel dedicated to it. Obviously, he thinks this is going to be something big. And I kind of agree with him. Like, if they listen to their fan base, if they listen to the gamers that are playing this, and truly, I mean, honestly, what I would do is, if I were a dev of Silica, I'd be watching this channel because I feel like Detox gives really good advice and input here. So if you guys are interested in Silica, if you guys are interested in top, I would say probably top tier content, some of the best I've seen, Detox is giving it out here. Check out his new channel. Give us some DG360 love and say, don't hate DG. He loves you. Don't hate on me, please.